Ciganovic was born on June 11, 1940 in Sudbury to Peter and Anica Chuk, who emigrated from Yugoslavia. She is the eldest of the three Chuk children, including brothers Bob and Draza. She is presently teaching at Forest Glade Public School.
Mrs. Ciganovic, tell us about your early childhood.
Well, I was born in Sudbury in June 1940, and I lived in Sudbury for about a year, and then my parents moved to Windsor, and we lived on 1185 Albert Road for quite a few years. And I went to Gordon McGregor School, and then from there we moved to Droulard Road, which was near Chrysler's where my father worked.
Tell us about your childhood growing up with your brother and sister.
Well, I have two brothers. They were younger than me, and I don't know exactly what you want.
Okay. When did you graduate from Gordon McGregor School? And where did you go to high school?
Okay, I graduated from Gordon McGregor School in 1954, and I went to Walkerville Collegiate.
Mm-hmm.
And I finished grade 13, and from there I went to London Teachers College. And from London Teachers College, I went to summer school in Toronto, and I spent 4 summers in Toronto, at that time living with my aunt, who really helped me out a lot because I couldn't afford to stay anywhere else. And I finished my home economics intermediate certificate. I received that after 4 years of summer school. And
why did you become a teacher, and why home economics?
Okay, well, when I finished high school, I wanted to go actually to the Guelph home economics department to take the home economics degree, but my parents couldn't afford to send me there, so the only thing they could afford was to send me to London Teachers College, and even that was expensive. So the best way I could accomplish my goal was to go to summer school, and so this is what I did. I went 4 summers, and I was able to then teach home economics. After my first year of teaching, I was offered a position to teach grade 7 and 8 home economics at Prince Edward School. And I taught at Prince Edward School for 25 years. And after a year of a leave, I went back to teaching family studies at Bellwood Public School for 2 years, and then I was transferred to Forest Glade, where I have now completed my 2nd year there, and I have 3 years of teaching left, at which time I will retire.
Tell us some of your the highlights of your teaching career.
The highlights. Well,
In Prince Edward School.
well, I was there for 25 years. It was almost like my second home. I really became attached to that school. I had involved in different activities at the school, and some of the things I did with the children were we would do some fashion shows at times. We helped in the preparation of different activities during the year for the home and school, and for different open houses, which I even do now at my other schools. I always help in preparation of things like that with my students. And I involve my students with other little children. We have activities that we use the grades, primary grades, kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and it's sort of called a primary partners program that I am very much involved with, and I feel it's important for children to get to know little children and know how to take care of them. And I also, last year, was involved in writing the grade 7 family studies curriculum for the Windsor Board of Education, along with a few of the other family studies teachers.
Okay, now tell us about your involvement with Serbian community.
Oh, well, I've been involved, I guess, ever since I was born. I was in the church school as a child. When I turned 15, I joined the choir, and I've been in the choir ever since, involved as far as being president to vice president, secretary, treasurer, just a member of the board, and now I'm just a very active choir member. I've traveled in many places with the choir, different cities of the United States. I was a delegate quite a few times. One of the times that I was a delegate, I traveled to San Diego, and at that time it was quite an exciting thing for us. The two of us that traveled there, we got an opportunity to meet the movie star Carl Malden, and that was quite a thrill because his father was the first president of the Serbian Singing Federation, and that was an exciting trip for me. This year I'm traveling along with my husband to Hamilton as a delegate. He's president of the choir and he's a delegate, and so I am going to be the second delegate. The other activities I was involved with was a dance group when I was a teenager. We had about 20 young people in the dance group. I, along with another friend of mine, sewed all the costumes, did all the handwork on the vests and the aprons, sewed the skirts and the blouses for the girls in that dance group. Later on, when I started teaching, I also became a church school teacher, and I've taught for quite a few years. At the present time, I'm sort of the assistant director of the school, along with our priest, Father Bojo, who is the head of the school. And I help out quite a bit there. I'm quite involved with the children in planning activities. This summer, we're traveling to St. Sava Camp in Shadeland with 36 children from the school. And we're going to go by bus and spend a week there. And they're going to really enjoy it. There's all kinds of activities, and they'll get a chance to meet other Serbian Orthodox children. And I guess I attend most of the functions and activities that are involved in the Serbian community of Windsor. I play a very active role in many of the organizations.
Did you design the costumes for the choir too?
Oh, yes, and not the costumes they're wearing now, but the costumes actually about 15 years ago I designed the costumes that the choir was wearing there for about 10 years. So I also did that.
Okay, now tell us about your contributions to the Canadian community.
Well, as far as that is concerned, I'm involved in and member of different organizations as far as teaching is concerned. The Windsor Women's Teachers Association, the Windsor Essex County Family Studies Association, the Ontario Home Economics Association, the Canadian Home Economics Association, and also the Ontario Family Studies Home Economics Educators Association. I received a certificate as showing that I am now a professional home economist. And on the Windsor Essex County Association, I was a member of the executive for a few years. So I think that's about it.
Okay, now tell us when and how you met your husband, and tell us about the wedding.
Okay. Well, I traveled to Yugoslavia to visit my relatives, and my husband's grandmother asked me if I would take a few minutes of my time while I was in Belgrade, Yugoslavia, to visit her grandson. And I did that, and the grandson was going to be my future husband, I guess. Now, I didn't know that at that time. I only spent about a half an hour there with him, just visiting and telling him about his family here in Windsor. And the following year, he came to Windsor to visit his family, his mother and sister and brother, grandparents, aunts, and uncles. And I started going out with him. And I think it was about in March that he applied for status of a landed immigrant. And he received that. And the following year, we were married in November. So he came to Canada, I guess, in 1967. And we were married in 1968.
What about children? You haven't.
Okay. We took care of a goddaughter of mine from the age, she was 5 until age 10. And so she lived with us during those years. And she went to school here, and we kept her just as if she was our own. And then at the age of 10, she left to go back to Yugoslavia, to her mother. And she was there for quite a few years until she finished high school. And then Elizabeth came back to Windsor and lived with us for a few years, and she received her degree in modern languages and graduated last year, and is now living in Stockholm, Sweden, and working for the Pakistan Embassy. So that was part of our life with our goddaughter Elizabeth. And then in 1977, Stephen came into our lives, and Stephen is our son. And this year he graduated from grade 8 and hopes to go to Bell River High School next year.
Okay. Now, what are your hobbies and interests?
Well, I spend a lot of time with the choir. I'm quite interested with the choir. We've done a lot of traveling. I've been to Europe twice. Once before I was married, and then later on with my husband and son, we traveled all through Europe and spent quite a bit of time in Yugoslavia. I've been to quite a few of the islands in the Caribbean: Aruba, Barbados, Nassau, Freeport, Bermuda. We've gone to California, through the States. Went to Vancouver and Expo and all through the mountains and up to Jasper and so on, to Lake Louise. We haven't done as much traveling in the last few years, but hopefully in a few years when I retire, I hope we can do that again. I also have, for the past 25 years, been collecting plates, collector's plates, different kinds. And also I collect petit point, fine needle point pictures. And I have quite a collection of those. Those are really precious to me, both those and my collector's plates. And from time to time, I'm tempted to buy more, but I don't know where I'm going to put them because I have quite a few of each.
Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you.